Welcome back to another Alliance War video. This is for Loki versus Pycb. This is the bugged war, the war that essentially didn't count. Kabam had an update and they just kind of screwed things up. But they banned APOC, WAGs, and Omega Red. They're going heavy on the, I guess, Shrug and Conflictor nodes and stuff like that, and along with the global with some skill attackers. And I have that's Spider Ham. We're doing a boss rush with Lags, Andrew, and myself, so it really wasn't going to affect us as a battle group too much, but we weren't sure how the global was interacting, so the plan was to basically small boost and get to my global fight to see if there is an issue or not. We were still kind of in the dark about stuff, so you see me only pop a 20% green boost here. This is just Spider Ham, and Fury is just going to absolutely melt this. I'm going to heavy to get the heal block off, and I'm going to get a big Fury, and I was going to do a 4-hit combo there, but just decided to do a 5. I throw my SB1 as soon as I get it so he doesn't get any nonsense. And here I'm like, I want to bait this. I'm debating whether I go for some combos and just kind of end it. I think 2 more combos with the Fury up ends the fight. But you see there, he dexes my heavy. So I'm like, okay, I need to get these debuffs off of me, and at this point, he's basically dead. I have enough charges where he's not going to evade me, so I'm not too worried off of that. But that's all she wrote. So I'm going to cost some health pots, but ultimately, probably not. So this is the global fight, and I decided to use Omega Sentinel here instead of Future Ant-Man. Because she just works really well for the global. She's R4 already, although he would be better for my mini island fight. In this node particularly, she doesn't lose any ability accuracy versus mutants, so I'll be able to parry his mediums perfectly fine, even though it has insult to injury. So the plan is basically to get a tracking and keep it paused and throw my SB3 for damage. But you see, I'm doing a substantial amount of damage already. I am running the recoil tree, so you know she's already hitting like a tank. She's only gonna hit more like a tank. I get another tracking on there because I was afraid it was gonna fall off. And yeah, at this point, I can't really tell if the global is, you know, broken or not, because she just removes the charges as I crit. So it's just really not. It's really not a good valid test, but I throw those SB3 and it's going to do a ton of damage, and then he's going to have incinerates on after, so he's just going to die. But after this fight, it came out that this war was not going to count. So at this point, you know, we took 2 hours to plan. Maybe an hour and a half, and it was just annoying because we liked our plan. It was going to be a cool, fun plan, and we're going to get the global down for everybody, but we're still running it and going to get everything down, just not really going to boost. I'm using 20% because I never use them in season and they always expire, so I'm just going to pop that on, and I'm not using a great boost. I did use it for Omega Sentinel because I wasn't sure if the war would count yet at that point, and if the global was gonna go crazy, I would eat a SB3 from Professor X. But here, basically the plan is not to parry, bait a heavy, get my charges up. I want to hit his block. I want to hit his block where I can. Actually, now looking back on this, I should have the previous special. I should have gone over 10 so I could safely hit into his block. I think I was just waiting for his prowess build-up to go down because I didn't want to get too out of hand. And at this point, I just want to hit his block. Slow play this. He is kind of cornering me, but I try hitting to the block there. I get an intercept that I don't want, and I just want to hit his block so I don't trigger the prowess part of the global. I don't want to crit. And here at this point, I'm like, alright, I have 3 pierce buffs. I'm going to invert my combo and get a bulwark. And at this point, the fight is totally under control. I still have my Fury up. And that's all she wrote for Mole Man. And next up I have a Quicksilver on path 7, and you see Andy clearing right there. The plan basically is to parry heavy to get the node cleared, and then spam SP1s to keep my my charges up, my tactical charges, so he doesn't evade me. I've only taken X in season into Quicksilver, so I've assigned lots of Furies to Quicksilver. So here I'm doing I do a 4-hit combos because I just want to maximize my bleed damage while limiting his power. And he throws a special right here. I'm like, oh, perfect. I have Fury for one more fight, and I'm not healing in between fights because the war is essentially canceled. But I still have the real Fury left, so I'm okay with him throwing this stuff into my block. And here I throw the SB1 to get more charges and to basically knock him down. Now I'm doing 5-hit combos just because I want to end this. If I can get to my special 2, this fight will be over. It would have been nice if he didn't throw that, but it's all good. And he's dead. So next up I have the Shocker, and when it was assigned, I didn't have a Shocker, and I didn't have any star version, so I had Andy made me go spend a bunch of 6-star shards to get this Shocker, and I got him. Ignore the 1 out of 1. It was like 100 that he made me do, and he said if I don't do it, then he's basically going to speak to our leader Scar and kick me. Again, that may or may not be true. Either way, I got 1 crystal here. I got lucky, and I got him so I could do some duels. And the plan basically is to bait heavies, and he interacts with Limber to where you basically can't parry him because you can't you won't be able to parry him long enough, really. But if you just bait a heavy, he loses charges, and at this point the plan is just to use the big bleeds to nuke him down, and the heavy's gonna lower his charge amount, and I'm gonna bait his SB2. There I eat a SB1. Not ideal, but ultimately okay. And the fight's going well. Like, if I was actually boosted and I healed fully, I'd be in no danger, and I would have popped an invulnerability boost just to eat an L3 if I really wanted to, depending on how strong that Energize is after his special 3. But you see here, I'm okay with him actually killing my first life because he's already at 50%, and the second life I'm just gonna wreck, absolutely wreck. So I throw this SB1 basically just to do more hits and more damage since Safeguard is on here. And you see the bleeds with deep wounds. I never run deep wounds, so this is always cool. I never get to use Fury like this. This is awesome. So ultimately, I really did like this assignment, and I'm clearing the right-hand side at this point so we can take the boss. It's a Zemo boss, and I'm not on him. Obviously, I don't have Professor X, but I do have Val. I was gonna snipe it, but it's all right. Now here, I'm still running that 20% again, not boosted fully. And the plan here is just to beta heavy for openings. And you know, there I thought I was far enough away, but I guess I just eat that special. Now keep in mind, I was getting sick the last time I made a war video, and by this time, like, I was not feeling well. Like, we finished planning, and all I could think about was like, okay, well, initially we're just gonna plug somebody in to do my fights, and it wasn't gonna be me. Then Drew asked if I could do it, and I was like, oh yeah, I really wanted to like take some medicine and sleep. But then the global was bugged, and I had to wait for that. And it's like, then he's like, hey, you want to move? I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I'm glad, because as soon as I finished my fights, I took some medicine and I was out. So ultimately it was good. But here, you see how this fight is just basically safe. You're just gonna hold block beta heavy. He even threw his SB1, unfortunately, and all you have to do is kind of dance around the timer for it, and it's fine. Like, you're never really in danger of dying. Like, this is much easier than Storm Pyramid X because he doesn't glance, in my opinion. And when you bait the SB2, he throws it pretty willingly. Unlike you have to like dash back with the spacing of Storm Max. So here, I almost naturally went for a parry. I remember that in fight. Here, I'm trying to get him over 2 bars because the global power burning him is just so difficult. But just slow and steady. He's about a minute and a half in, and at this point, I know about 1 or 2 more combos is going to push him to yellow. And for those who don't know, if you do a 4-hit combo and then immediately hold block, the AI is less likely to throw a special. So that's what this strategy basically is. And at this point, he is over 2 bars. I throw medium for more damage because I'm okay if he throws a special there. And I throw another medium and he throws it. See, 5-hit combo and he's more likely to throw a special right there. Take it on the chin, doesn't really do anything. And at this point, 1 more heavy and he is dead. And next up we have a Jessica Jones versus Valkyrie fight. And this is on the 55 brute force mini. So I don't want to parry, I can bait a heavy. I didn't prep for any of these fights except for Shocker, just to get used to his animations after I pulled him. But basically, yeah, you see me here, bait a heavy, and then I eat a combo. I'm like, man, I'm getting cornered. It's gonna go bad. But ultimately, I know I can hit it. I can hit her to build power. So all that did is give me a PS1 basically, and I make one big mistake, and it'll come up later in the fight. And shout out to Clown, because it reminded me in the fight of him. And this is me not knowing her special animation right there. I thought I was good, and I wasn't. So there she backs off just slightly, and I can throw my special into her block, thankfully. And so then she lets me hit her, so brute force, timer gets reset. And she throws her special 1, and I'm like, okay. And brute force is sticking, so I do 2 hits into her block, and then I bait a heavy, and I hit to reset the timer. So at this point I have 3 pierce buffs. I got a passive 1. I slow down my combo at the end to throw this to make sure she blocks. And I think I just want to bait a heavy at that point, but then she goes unblockable, and I instantly remembered Clown's fight. So I was like, oh no, she was cool, and she let me finish her off. So this war just didn't happen, I guess, in Kabam's eyes. So the results really don't matter. And we'll get a new matchmaking today, and there's 3 wars to close out the season. So we'll see how it goes, and according to Kabam, if you place whatever tier you place in, you're going to get basically bumped up to the next tier. So if we hit P1, we'll be getting Masters rewards. If you hit Masters 11 through 20, you'll be getting top 10 rewards, and top 10 or 6 through 10 basically would get third, and so forth. So we'll see how the season goes, and if they can right the ship and make everything right. But looking forward to ending the season strong, and we'll see you guys in the next one.